Hello, you welcome to my channel. My name is Adora, and on today's program I'm going to be bringing out 50 places you should avoid living in the UK, 50 worst places to live in the UK. Okay, in my last video I made mention that I was going to talk about places you should avoid living if you are coming to the UK, if you're relocating to the UK, or if you live in the UK and you want to relocate within the UK, that you should make your research before moving places. Now, before I started, I decided to make a research about some of these places. Some of these places I've been there, I have lived there, I have visited there, I have holidayed there. So I am talking exactly from my own experience, what I know about them. And then some other places I wanted a little bit of a little bit of more research to be able to be sure of what I'm about to say, of what I'm going to come up with. And honestly, I only wanted to talk about 5 places. I wanted to title this video the 5 worst places to live in the UK. But guess what? While I was doing my research, I came in contact with this website, and it's called ilivehere.com. And on this website, it's kind of brings together a list of places that people do not really like living in. Like the kind of gather is a survey of list of worst places where people talk about the experiences and why they do not like a particular place, and they vote. And every year there's a vote. There's this kind of survey that goes on every year where people come together and rub minds and vote the worst places to live in the United Kingdom. And this vote takes place every November through December. So right now we're in November. There's a current vote taking place at the moment where people are gathering online to vote the worst places to live in the United Kingdom. Now, one thing I would always say is that one man's meat is another man's poison. That someone voted a particular place as his or her worst place does not mean that some other people do not like it. Like, I have places that I would, even if you pay me a lot of money to live there, I would rather not live there. I would rather go somewhere else where I am not going to be paid, but as long as I'm happy and as long as I get everything I want in that particular place. So that's how it goes. Some people love this so-called worst places. They don't mind it. And some people do not even want to, touch such towns or cities with a long stick. So now, because when I was going through this, when I was making my research, I was actually thinking I was just going to talk about 5 places, but somehow these websites brought out 50 places in the UK, and I'm like, wow, that's almost all of UK now. 50 places, then what's remaining? Like, if you could say 50 worst places to live in the UK, then like that's quite a lot anyway. But from the list, some of these places, I'm not surprised anyway. I'm not surprised they made the list. I'm not surprised they made the top 50 places to avoid in the UK, because I actually know about them. And some of them, I have never even heard about them before. I was like, is this place actually in the UK? And then some of them, again, I was quite surprised. I was a bit disappointed that they made the list because I wasn't expecting it at all. But, like I said, everyone's choice, everyone's opinion is different. And the good thing about it is that this poll, this survey actually came from people who have lived there, or who have visited there, or who have one thing in common, or they have one contact, one connection, something going on between them and the city. That was why they actually came out to vote the place as their worst place to live in the UK. So when I come back, I will give you a rundown of the 50 worst places to live in the UK according to ilivehere.com. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. Okay, let's start from number 50. It's a long list, so I'm going to try as much as possible to, just read through very, very fast. Number 50 is Sheffield. I was quite surprised when I saw Sheffield, because I've been to Sheffield once and I can't really say there's anything wrong with that, honestly. But like I said, it all depends, like, Everybody has different things they want from a particular place, and I don't live in Sheffield, so unless there are some other things underneath, there's one or two things people don't like about the place that is not actually showing on the outside. I have no idea. Sheffield made the list, number 50. Number 49 is Boston. Number 48 is Wolverhampton. Now, Wolverhampton is a big city, and I'm trying to understand why it made the list. I do not know, but it made the list. Number 47 is Chichester, and this is one of the places I have never heard of in my life in the United Kingdom, so I have no idea where it is. I don't even know what to say about it. And then number 46 is Warsaw. 45 is Northampton. I'm a bit shocked about that one anyway, because I have friends who live in Northampton, and they've never really complained, so I'm a bit shocked. Number 44 is Didcot. I have no idea where that one is anyway. Number 43 is Barking and Dagenham. I have been to Barking and Dagenham. I think it's not too far from London, or it's neighboring London. It has to do with London, very close to that area. I really don't know what the underlying issues are, but like I said, I've always said this, I like London, and anything close to London or around London, I just love it. So I like Barking and Dagenham, but I don't understand why it was voted as one of the worst places to live in the United Kingdom. Number 42 is Brandon. I've never heard of that. Number 41 is York. Yeah, I have heard of York, and I have never Northampton. Now, I'm not too sure why it was voted on the list. Anyway, I haven't been there before, so I don't know. Number 39 is Reading. Reading, I used to hear that Reading was a nice place, and I think it has a nice university or so. I can't remember, but that's all I know about Reading. So if you know you live in Reading, or you've heard anything about it, maybe if you have your own opinion, you can put down, but I have nothing about Reading. And then number 38 is Burnley. 37 is Leicester. Leicester, I'm not too sure, but I have a lot of friends who live in Leicester and who have actually schooled in Leicester in uni, and they have never for once complained about the place, where that place is. Number 34 is Rotherham. Rotherham, never been there, so I have no idea what that is. Number 33 is Boscombe. I've never heard that in my life. I don't even know where that is. Number 32 is Croydon. Croydon is somewhere in London. So I'm not sure why it is here, but I've heard that Croydon is, when it comes to security issues, there's an issue with that. So that's it for Croydon. I know it's very close to London, or it's in London, or it's just around London. That's all I know about Croydon. But when it comes to security issues, I think I've heard a few negative remarks about Croydon. And 31 is Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough, I have a friend who was living there with her family, and she said it's like, in her own words, she said it's a shithole, that she doesn't like the place. It's very, very depressing. It's not just a place you want to live in, and it's kind of far away from everything. Like, it's far away from the airport, because she used to live in Europe before she migrated to United Kingdom. So once in a while, she still has to go back to Europe. That is the country where she was living in Europe. And then for her to catch a train to Europe, and as to Amsterdam, exactly where she used to live, or take a flight or whatever, is like, Middlesbrough is just far from everything. So she always had to like move from Middlesbrough down to like maybe like Leeds or London before she can access all that. And never been to Middlesbrough, but I'm not too keen on going there anyway. Number 30 is Aldershot. I've never heard about this place, so no comments. 29 is Bolton. Bolton is somewhere in Manchester, and Bolton is somewhere in Manchester. And yeah, I have made some research about the place when I was looking to move to Manchester some years back. And whenever Bolton comes up on the internet, on my search list, it's not one of those places I would like to go to. Although I like Manchester as a whole, but it's like some parts of Manchester, you have to really make your research before moving there. Like I said, sometimes it's not everywhere. And you know, the funny part of moving to a particular place is that it might not be every part of that city or town that is bad. It could be like 30%, it could be 40%, but depends on what you want. So what you want might not be what someone else wants. But like if you move into a particular place, always ask questions, always make research. Like all these places I have mentioned now, I haven't been to some of these places, but I've heard from stories, from interacting with people, from asking the internet, from just paying the place like a mental visit. I just want to know what it's like in my mind, in my head. And if I just see one or two people give me negative review about the place, immediately I want to research. I want to know why it's that bad before I step my foot there. And then the next one is Blackburn. 28 Blackburn, 27 is Nottingham, 26 is Sunderland. Yeah, I have been to Sunderland, and I've been to Sunderland once. I would say it's okay. It's very far. It's like the other side of United Kingdom. I don't think they have so much going on there. It's like one of these quiet cities that are just quiet city or a town. One of these quiet places that they're just okay with the way they are. They're not looking for too much. They're just okay. Like, there's really nothing much going on there. And like someone like me, if I want to relocate to any place, the most important thing I look out for, what are the job opportunities there? Number one, is it does it have a huge number of ethnic diversity? I'm always out for in the lookout for these two things. And then number three, how accommodating is it for kids? Like, is it a place where you can raise your children safely without fear, without having issues about security and all whatnot? So with these three things, I am good to go. It's not about whether the place is too cheap, whether the place is too quiet and all that. But if I have these three things in place, then I can manage whatever comes next. So that's it for Sunderland. Number 26 is Ipswich. I have heard about the place. I have no idea where it is, so I don't have any comments about it. Number 24 is Slough. Slough, I think the only time I heard about that place was when I was traveling to London or so. I think I saw the signboard somewhere. Number 23 is Rochdale. Rochdale. I have a friend who lives in Rochdale. Rochdale is around Manchester. And I have always wanted to live in Rochdale. When I was house hunting, I used to see houses for available in Rochdale, because I wasn't really particular about about living in a particular place in Manchester. Anywhere as long as it's Manchester. So I used to come across most of these names, and when I get these names, when I hear about these names, I just research. I kind of ask questions to know what it's all about, and people kept saying, stay away from Rochdale, stay away from Rochdale. I have no idea why. Yeah, number 22 is Andover. I don't know where this place is. 21 is Swanley. 20 is Wigan. Wigan. I just know that name rings a bell, but I have no idea where it is at all. And 19 is Newton Abbott. No idea. 18 is Aylesbury. 17 is Oldham. Oldham is in Manchester. And I've heard a lot of negative remarks about Oldham. I've heard things like security issues. It's not really a safe place to stay. That some people say the unemployment level there is very, very high. It's not a place I might want to live. And then I've heard number 16 is Grimsby. 15 is Blackpool. Now, Blackpool, I am not surprised it's made the list. I have been to Blackpool a couple of times, and driving around that city the site there is really not, it's kind of, there's this dull, grim look in the atmosphere. Everywhere looks too boring. Like, it looks too quiet. There is not much going on there. The only thing I could actually point out on my journey, looking around while driving that day, was just the plenty presence of takeaway shops, a lot of chicken and chip shops all over, and a lot of charity shops all over, and nothing really much, like, because even when I got home, and from time to time I keep hearing about Blackpool. The best thing about Blackpool, to me, the good thing I like about Blackpool is just the beach, the seaside. And it's because of that, it has this tourist attraction. A lot of people from Europe, from all over the world, they usually, when they come to UK, they want to visit Blackpool, but it's only for a short while. And this is just like during the summertime, when they visit the pool, they visit the resort center, they visit the amusement park side of it, and that's about all that Blackpool has to offer. Honestly, there is really nothing much going there. And then when I made a bit more research, I found out that Blackpool is one of the most deprived areas in the United Kingdom. So if you're looking to move to Blackpool, unless it's your spec, it's okay. And then after Blackpool, we have Barnsley, that comes at number 14. And number 13 is Castleford. No idea. And number 12 is Keighley. Keighley is in West Yorkshire. Number 11 is Doncaster. Doncaster, I think, is in North Yorkshire or South Yorkshire. I can't remember. And that's number 11, Doncaster. The good thing, not the good thing. The funny thing about this list is that from number 50 to number 11, they all made the lists as in the 50 worst places to live in the UK. But from number 10 to number 1, now made it like the 10 worstest places to live in the UK. So from number 10 down, were like the red list. They were like the red line, the red zone, like the worstest place to live in the United Kingdom. And strange enough, one of my best towns in the United Kingdom made the list, and I'm not too happy about it because I have a very big emotional attachment to this town, and I was shocked it made the list. I was really shocked, and that is Halifax. Halifax is in West Yorkshire, and it came up here as number 10 of the worst places to live in England 2021, and for reasons I do not understand. I don't know why it made the list, but I felt a bit emotional when I saw it on the list, because I was like, oh my god, I love this place. I have lived in Halifax for about 4 years, so I have a very huge connection to that place. And then number 9 is Torquay. I have no idea where this place is, but it made the list as number 9. And number 8 is Jaywick. I've watched a documentary about this place, Jaywick, as it came out in the list as one of the most deprived areas in the United Kingdom. I have no idea, because it's a town by the seaside, and I love anything sea, water, beach, and all that. I think it's more of a peaceful atmosphere when you live in such quiet neighborhood where you are you're very close to nature, So I don't know why it's made the list, but I think from judging from people's comments, they have every reason to have voted it as one of the worst places to live. Number 7 is Luton. Luton I have been to, and from my experience, I see it as quite a dark place. There's nothing much going on there. It's like the employment level is quite low. Social life there is next to nothing. That's my opinion, and that was my experience anyway. So there could be some other reasons why this particular town was mentioned. And next on the list is Wakefield. Wakefield is in West Yorkshire, and though I have been to Wakefield, I've stayed in Wakefield for about 4 weeks, and from the little I saw, it's okay. It's a nice, quiet, lovely town, but it's not my thing anyway. But it being not my thing is not enough to make it the worst place to live in the UK. There must be other reasons why it made this current list. And then number 5 is Hull. I've been to Hull once and I didn't like it. The whole atmosphere was just too anyhow, too dull, and I'm very sure it has some underlying issues why it made the list. So that's it. Number 4 is Bradford. Yeah, Bradford is also in West Yorkshire, and it is about 20 minutes on train from Halifax. It's very close to Halifax. It's not far at all. And I've been to Bradford a couple of times, and Bradford is a place that is very full. It's one of the it's the kind of thing I like when I'm looking out for a place to live in a city or in an area. The hustle and bustle of a city or a town is one of the things that's, like, it just keeps me interested in the place. So Bradford is a very busy place. It's lovely. From what I've seen so far, it's nice. It has some of the things I would want, when looking at to relocate. But I don't understand why it's made the lists as number 4. And number 3 is Liverpool. Now, sometimes when you hear some names make such lists, you're like, how come? I used to think this place is such a nice place. Liverpool is one of the biggest cities in the United Kingdom. But I don't know why it's made the list. Honestly, I don't understand. I don't know what they are looking out for. But number 2 is Huddersfield. Huddersfield is also in West Yorkshire. It seems like a lot of the places in West Yorkshire they're almost all the cities I know and towns I know in West Yorkshire actually made this list, and it's just making West Yorkshire look like I don't know, not so nice anyway. But the last but not the least is Peterborough. I've never been to this place, but I've heard a lot of bad reviews about it. I've heard a lot of not too nice things about living in Peterborough. One of the remarks I've heard or I've gotten about such places, also the low employment opportunities, and it being like a deprived place, like almost a forgotten part of the United Kingdom, and nothing much to do anyway. The quality of life is low. Now, you know what? Most of these places have one or two things in common. And if you look in very deeply, you discover that what they have in common in most cases is low employment. When a city or a town is suffering from low employment, it affects the economy of that place. It affects the economy of that town. It affects the economy of that city, because it's like a city that is not doing too well. There is nothing much, unless you are not very fussy about having a particular kind of job. If you are the fussy type that you don't want, maybe you have a particular interest, there is a kind of job you want. There's some cities or some towns you don't just want to dabble in. You don't want to kind of waste your time living there. In as much as some of these places, they are very cheap, the rental prices are quite affordable. Sometimes people tend to overlook the other negative aspects of living there, just because the house prices are cheap enough, they're affordable, you can afford to live there comfortably and save a few pounds. But if you are the adventurous type, there are some other things you look out for before you move to such places. Like I've always said, if you are looking to come into the UK or you're looking to relocate, make your inquiries, make your research, so that you don't end up moving from place to place and making a mistake and you want to move out. Right now, I have a friend who has just moved into a particular place in UK. She moved into a place called what's this place called? Newcastle on the Line, and she doesn't like the place at all. She keeps saying, that there's nothing to do here, there are no activities, there's no place to go to, there's no fun, nothing. And I'm like, that's what you get in some areas. Because I remember before she moved in, she used to say she wants to buy a house in the UK. So immediately she comes to the UK, she wants to rent for a while and save some money and be able to acquire her own property. And you coming over to a place like where she is staying now, is when you look at it on the affordability part, if you rent a property there, it can enable you save some money while you dream of getting something bigger that is your own in future. But she is not getting it funny at all. She's not just enjoying the place. She said her mood is kind of going downhill every day. Because she's the bubbly type, she doesn't like a very dull environment. So it all differs, it all matters, you know. One thing could work for someone and it might not work for the other. It all depends on your kind of person. But if you are the quiet type, if you just kind of just a chilled out, relaxed kind of person, you don't want stress, you don't care about where you go to, you just want to stay anywhere, it doesn't matter, as long as it's the UK, then fine, you can pick one of these places and you can just stay anywhere. It doesn't really matter, because in the first place, I for one think everywhere in the United Kingdom is good, is okay. It all depends on if you want some extra features living in that place, or if there's something about the place, you know, you would like, and then you're not getting it from a particular place, and that's when you now begin to choose, I want to stay here or I don't want to stay here. But always make your research, always ask your questions. Like, I cannot say I know everywhere in UK, and I cannot run every part of United Kingdom down, even though I don't like the place. Some places I can't run it down so much because some other people are enjoying it. That's the funny part of it. Some people are loving it the way it is, you know. Some people are having the best time of their lives in such places. So it all depends, it all varies. So, and from this list, this 50 list, these 50 places on this list I have just mentioned, a lot of them have one or two things in common: low employment level, security issues. Some of them are actually struggling with security problems. Like, if it's not antisocial problems, it is maybe crime, terrible burglary problems, or murder, or terrorism, or what have you. There's always a place. There's no place that is 100% safe anyway, but look out for somewhere that has at least a high rate of security. To an extent, it's important, especially when you have kids. You have to really be careful. You have to, that is when you make your research a priority. You have to put so many things into consideration, because it will not be nice for you to move into a place and your children are being influenced by a terrible living condition, or influenced by terrible friends they meet around them, or influenced by the society because they have no choice, they can't control it, and that's just what is around them. So there's a lot that goes into relocation. When you move into any part of the United Kingdom, ask questions, make research. If possible, go there. That's one good thing. That's one good thing that you should put into consideration. Go there, even if you live. That's for those living in the United Kingdom. Now I'm talking about those living in UK. If you want to make a relocation from one place to the other, travel there, even if it's for the weekend. Go around, ask questions, do your research as much as possible. If you have children, try and know the schools around. Check out the schools with good standings. Check out around your area, the neighborhood you want to live in, the kind of facilities they have there, just because all these things counts in the long run. So thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you for having that patience to have watched to this level, if you did. And if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please kindly hit the subscribe button. And then from time to time, when I bring out new and interesting topics, you'll always be the first to know. Thank you and God bless. Ciao.